Hi all you beautiful people. Happy Sunday. This has been a bit of a process, this film. So yeah, it's really important to be in the right state of being when I do these. So this might turn out a bit funny. We'll just see. See what happens. I can say a little prayer. Dear mighty God, Father, Mother God, thank you for this moment where I am right now and where we all are, right here in our lives, human beings on a journey of living and learning, slowly, sometimes fastly, moving ahead, understanding more and more about who we are and what life is and who you are. So help me in this moment and this little time we have together to open my heart to all that is good to share, useful to share, and that carries only peace and only love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So life is life is challenging. This week has been quite challenging for me, but it just feels like today I have a wonderful breakthrough, and with all the things that I feel that I'm trying to discover. I'm trying to discover more truth. And sometimes I just feel I'm really looking in the dark. And sometimes a lot of clarity comes. And you just never know. But as you know, the channelings on the Sananda website I use a lot. There's also a woman called Brenda Hoffman. She makes channelings on that site, but also has her own blog talk radio. I can leave a link under this. And she actually, she talks on the radio once a week approximately, and she gives a channeling there. And sometimes I feel they're really, really helpful. And what the last one was that she shared was that what's happening right now on Earth is massive. So if you feel strange in your body, in your mind, in your life, I think it's because of that, because we are changing on a atomic level. Every single part of our being is changing. So it can feel really hard, and I think what we're being told, which I've also shared, is to relax. Just relax. Do what you love to do. Do nothing. Do something. Be like the children. Just enjoy being in your own being. And just by doing that, it sounds so strange, but just by doing that, you're bringing so much light to the earth. Because how many people do you meet in your daily life who's full of peace, full of love, and full of joy? There's not many, but there are some, and luckily there's more and more. But each and every time a human being decides to relax and to love the moment, to allow themselves to be who they are, we are shifting the planet massively. Well, all of creation, really. So that's what I do. I just really, really relax, and I just love it. I really, really love it. I feel it's so true. And many of us, I think, especially who are watching these films, have done a lot. And it's not to say that there's nothing for me to do, or there's nothing that's I'm not important, or that everyone else can do the hard work type of thing. But there is a certain portion of a work in the world that we have to do, we come to do, and then there's the more reclusive, retreated life where you are very much in the being. And I feel that for me, personally, and you might feel that too, that you've done so much, good and bad if you want to put it into those terms, and now is really time for your own sanity and your own well-being to really, really learn, and that is work in itself. Learn to relax, learn to come into your true self. That is very, very powerful work. It just doesn't look powerful on the outside. So yeah, there's many things I've written down I want to share, and we'll just see how much we get through, or I share here. I was talking last time about viewing ourselves as perfect and getting to feel blissful about being who we are. And I sort of felt I was being guided to extend this, because of course we're a little piece of the whole. So whatever you're doing to yourself, you're really doing to the whole world. And to just shine a bit of light onto this. So if I'm perfect in my imperfection, that means that my life is perfect. Everything that has been and everything that is right now is also perfect. And I got this very strongly this morning. I was out doing my chores with the animals, and just all these little things, lifting off this hatch off this gate and shutting the gate, putting the hatch back on, all these little movements. And I kept being reminded that this is perfect. I am in the exact place I need to be in this exact moment, because it is the exact truth for me. And whether I'm doing that or whether I'm a prime minister doing a speech, that's not what it's about. It's the way I've structured my life and the things I'm doing is perfect. Not that it's not going to change, because it will change, and I become inspired to do other things or do things in a different way. But just to allow myself that feeling that what I'm doing right now is perfect, and that everything actually is in harmony. Because everything that I'm doing right now, everything that's happening in my life right now, and everything that's ever happened in my life was actually perfect. And I've talked about this before, and it's just, it's so hard. It's so hard because there's such a big part of us that says, well, I mean, look at all the things that went wrong in my life. Look at all the challenges. Look at all these so-called problems. Things that so-called didn't work out. They can't have been perfect. That's stupid. It looks completely imperfect. But with the eyes of the soul, it's all been perfect. And it's all been harmony. The harmony is already there. And the only reason why all these things are happening is because there's something there. There's a message for me. There's a learning, a message for me. There's something, the more challenging something is, the greater a lesson there is. So in that sense, everything is is completely in harmony. Where our old mind said, well, there's all these good things in my life and there's all these bad things, and all these things shouldn't really have happened, and if I do some things, maybe I can mend them, sort of make them good again, so they're not bad anymore. And it's wrong. It's just, it's not the way of the heart. It's not the way of the light. So in this very moment, as we're practicing that we are perfect and just allowing ourselves to be who we are, feel good about being who we are, and feel good about growing, we can extend this into our life, into our family, into the whole world, and say, not only say to ourselves, but sense this part, which is really our soul, our spirit, telling us that everything, Katrina, everything has always been perfect. And it still is. And all you need to do is come into that truth. Just allow yourself to step out of that voice that's been shouting into your face all your life that didn't go very well, and that didn't go, and you didn't do that very well, and maybe you can do something to to fix that. All those voices have never told the truth. It's always been lying into your face, because every single moment everything was perfect, and you behaved in the way that you felt was perfect, and the will within you was good, your intention was good, although you might have done something very, very terrible. And to just let all that, those voices, all that judgment, all that anger and criticism towards our lives and towards how we have been and what has happened to us and everything, to just let it all dissolve, just wash it away with our love. And so in this very moment, we're making a cup of tea, or I'm sitting here, you're sitting there, to just allow myself and ourselves that feeling that everything actually is in harmony. It's already in harmony. It's nothing, harmony is not something we're going to create, it is already here. And the more we allow ourselves to feel the harmony within everything, simply make the decision within us that this is the voice we're going to follow. And it is the voice of the Spirit. As I see it, it's saying everything is in harmony already. Just embody it. Just allow yourself to be that harmony, instead of listening to that voice that's been so loud for so long. And so just shining some light on family life, which for me has, as you know, has been pretty dramatic and pretty, I mean, our early time together, my husband and me and our 4 children, the first 10 years were actually really, really very wonderful, although I sensed I had a lot with my health, and I just could feel there was a lot of pain somewhere within me, and of course there was. And so lots and lots of things were so-called good and felt really wonderful. I remember when we had our first baby and we went travelling to Australia for 15 months, we were just, I mean, it's so luxurious. That's all we did. We travelled around with our little baby and just enjoyed being a family. We were completely free because we had the money to do it. Not that we're rich, but we're from a very rich society, and also when you're travelling, we were travelling as willing workers on organic farms. It's called work away now, where you come to a family or a place and you work 4 hours a day and you get food and accommodation, and that way we could live. That's what we've been good at. We can live off a very, very small amount of money, and that way we had all that freedom and just that feeling. I remember that feeling of having had that baby and us together, having a husband and just being 2 young people with this little baby. I felt I was in heaven. I just felt so grateful and so lucky. I just felt so fortunate. I really felt I was living in heaven. I just couldn't believe how... Oh, I could believe it. I just felt, so grateful. But as you know, our family is very, very separate now, and some of us don't have any contact at all, although we're living really very close to each other. So things became completely fragmented, you can say, and so it's very difficult not to listen to the voice in my heart saying, well, why did that all go wrong? But the thing is, it didn't go wrong. And so I just know from all the work I've been doing with my own spiritual growth and prayer and all the things that you know that I'm doing in my life, still I have that voice very, very strongly saying, why did all this happen? Why is this, and why do these families have so much together, and why does that seem so much more happy? And it's simply not true. It's simply, it had to be. This all had to be. And I think for many women, but probably also for men, why couldn't I have done it differently? Why did I have to do this, and why did I have to do that? It's we really have to let it go. That's what I feel. Although sometimes you can say sorry for something that you feel, and I'm sad this and this went like this, but still the family structure can be very, very much full of hatred and control. So people in families are still trying to hold each other down and not let each other be free. And what and it is because some people are still in the very deeply ingrained, deeply rooted in the egoic way of being, where you are not safe alone. You can't let go because you have not found the kingdom within you. You haven't realized that you are actually God in human form, and that you're never alone. So you're still clinging to people and hoping that they're going to do something that's going to fulfill you. And that way of being is the old addiction, and is completely unhappy. It creates more pain for you and for others. But it's all going to go. It's all going to go for sure. So just somebody I've experienced that my husband found is a man called Gabor, G-A-B-O-R, and M-A-T-E with a stroke over. And he's a Jewish man and is very well known and speaks a lot about the human condition and about human pain, also about addiction. And maybe you want to go and have a look at him. I saw him with his son the other day, Daniel, who's a 40-year-old young man, where they each shared about their experience of being father and son, and where they were very, very honest about how difficult it's been. So it's good, and that's what I hope to have been able to share with my videos, that it's painful when you want it, you so deeply want family life to work, and it doesn't. And and why didn't it work? Well, it didn't work because, as I see it, we all came to clean away the old pain of the human being, and the pain of the earth that's sort of been held in Mother Earth, the physical earth. There's so much pain that's stuck there from old wars and all the bad stuff that's happened, and we have come to cleanse the earth, help the earth cleanse, but also help humanity cleanse, so that human beings become enlightened and realize who they are, which is not a being that's controlled by other humans and somebody who has to come here and live in a certain way and do certain things to be happy. The human being is a spirit, like everything really. It's consciousness in a form. And we came here to be that consciousness. And when you step into that knowing that you are consciousness, you are love, I call it love, you are presence, you are the light, you know that you break free from all that the limitation belief. You realize that you are definitely not what you thought you were. And whether you're in a family or not in a family, the time now has come where we have to set ourselves free. And that was one of the things that Daniel was saying, that he was, which he said very honestly, he was waiting for his father to set him free until he realized, well, nobody can set me free. I have to set myself free. Free from what? Free from hating my father or expecting my father to be different. So we have to, each and every one of us, set ourselves free. And then the family, whatever family is going to come in the future, is going to be a completely different way of being together. Because we all act out of the wisdom of our hearts and the knowing that we are this presence, and we are always guided from within. Nobody can really tell us what to do, apart from the rules of a country, and there's certain things you have to do. You are free. And that is the way that you bring what you bring. Because you come to bring something and manifest something into this world, and you can only do it when you're free. So it's so beautiful. And why did the family structure fall apart? Well, so that somebody like me could sit and make these little videos, and somebody like you could see, oh, that's my sister. I knew 2 million years ago. And we reunite, and we get to see that we are maybe soul families, all these different soul families, but we are, in the deepest sense, we're all one. And we are one big family. So the whole old system of the tribe and the countries and their borders and fighting the other country who is your enemy is going, because it doesn't work, because we're all one. So it's so beautiful, so beautiful. So what I thought when I was seeing that video with Gabriel and Daniel, which is, I just want to say, I can be quite critical, or I just often, I think I got it from my dad, look for what's missing. And I really don't want to criticize them at all, because I mean, everybody is bringing something that somebody can use on our journey, and so I think their honesty and what they're doing is really, really wonderful, because the whole thing of just being honest, being authentic is so needed, especially for people who are in countries, well, a lot of the Western world, people aren't authentic. And so that's really wonderful. But what I got to think was, okay, what's missing here? What's missing? And what I feel so grateful that for the way I see life, and I see the world, and I see ourselves, and you can say it comes from the Christian faith, or the mystical Christian, but I think it really is in every religion if you go deep enough. But the whole fact that there is a God, and that you are from God, and you are God's child. You might be a father, you might be a grandfather, you might be a mother, but that's only a tiny, tiny part of your role here in life, one of your duties here in life. And the family that you think, this is my family, is only a tiny, tiny speck of who you are and the group that you belong to. So, so we are from God, we are the light, we are each and every one of us a spirit who comes into this world and decides to go, and we decide before we even come, with our family, we all arrange this, to go and create hell on earth, to have a really, really difficult time so that we can grow. And that that God is there, and God and all his angels and beings of light, all that goodness which people experience in their near-death experiences, they're all there. and they're beaming their love onto us, and we are that love, and we are on our way. We're on our way on a journey, going from the darkness and into the light. So all is well, and we are holy. And I mean, God said, love. Jesus said, Christ said, love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your soul, whatever. And that's the first thing he says. Why is that? Because when you do that, as I've mentioned so many times before, you come into complete alignment, and you realize that you are the greatness. You are one with God. So you focus your attention on this, the light, which is the one light, and that way, life on earth with your family and whatever's going on in your family, all these problems that we can talk about and talk about and talk about and talk about, you see it all from a much, much, much higher perspective, and it's not so important who said and why they said it and when they said it and all the pain. So I just feel that when you have this perspective that you are the light and you are deeply loved and you have always been, and you're here to realize this. You are here to become that light that you are, and step out of all the pain, and step out of the addiction of trying to fix the problems. You're here to realize that the problems are there so that you can refine yourself, and you can become a more loving person. The so-called problems in our families where people behave in ways that hurt us come so that we can learn to love that hurt and love that person who's doing that, and realize that the only reason why they're hurting us is because they're in deeper darkness. They're very afraid and they can't love that much. So they're really not hurting us. They're just lost. And all that, which is really the same for every single person and every single family, whether you have 8 kids or 1 kid or no kids, whatever, it's all really the same thing that we're all going through. And so we're all children on a journey. And we're here to also realize that your mother and father could never give you everything. And often they actually hurt you so that you can grow. So I just love how I feel the Lord has taught me all this, because you get lifted out of the pain, and you realize that it is so beautiful, and it is only about love. It's only about love, and that you are that love. And also what I got to think about is what I've also talked a lot about on my videos, is that I mean, this is challenging, because a lot of us are experiencing mental problems and just a lot of problems with our body, with our mood, with our mental state. And that is also connected to the way we treat our body and what we eat and what we do with our bodies. And so no matter how much you focus on the emotional healing, there's also the physical healing. Some say we have 4 bodies. We have the physical body, we have the mental body, we have the emotional body, and we have the spiritual body. And we, each and every one of us, have to become that parent who we used to have as babies, and go and see, how's my physical body? How's my mental body? How's my emotional body? Where is my spirit? All this we have to do ourselves. It's a big job. So the reason why something like yoga or qigong or all these different healing, these ways of using our bodies, why they're so popular, is because the body needs this. The body needs us to bring it into alignment, just just the whole thing of sitting straight, keeping our back straight, so important for our well-being. How is our gut? How is our brain? All these things which it can seem very overwhelming, but we just take it bit by bit. But every time you help yourself and come into, find this balance in each of the bodies, the more you feel your God self, the more everything becomes completed. And you're not so much in the training and the learning, but you're here more to manifest light. You can do more. You can bring more. So yeah, and the whole thing of having a God to thank, to pray to, light a candle, say thank you, I just think is so powerful, because to come in, and they know that, when you come into the state of gratitude, and the thing is, when you have a God to thank, it just becomes more natural and something you do more. When you come into the state of gratitude, everything comes into alignment. You lift your vibration from, can be real low to real high. So and in the state of when you so that was what I felt. I was sort of guided to see after I had seen that video with the father and son, that the way you perceive life and getting to see that there is a God that loves you, and that it is not a religious God. It is God, Him, herself, and that you belong to this being, and that you can thank this being, and that this being is sending you help every moment, and you're going to return, you're going home again. To see life that way, I just think is so beautiful. But we're all different, and we all are having this experience in different ways. But I just love this way of living. And in a family setting, like with my husband, for instance, and that's what a lot of Christian people talk about, that there's, when you both believe in God, we don't call ourselves Christians, but we say we believe in God. You have the man and the woman and God. There's never only two. There's always three, or everyone else. And together the couple can thank their father, mother, God. To have that is just so powerful, and it takes you out of all this focus on the other one, because we're really just brothers and sisters. Even with our children, we're all on this journey. We're all here to learn, and we are all perfect in our imperfection. And those of us who can see things more than others wish so much to explain. I know for myself, this is all you have to do, but when it comes to really the deep stuff, you have to just be quiet, because we all have to make our way and find out, okay, how can I see this in a different way? How can I step out of this? So I've said before, it's in the not knowing that we know, but sometimes it's in the knowing. To have a knowing like this is just, I feel, really, really powerful. That was a lot of words. My goodness. So we haven't done any breathing. I love to do things differently, and it's also good to have something you do. I'm very happy that this is every Sunday. I share this every Sunday. I like that feeling. That's the continuity, And I look very much forward to it, and whoever of you look forward to it, it just gives me a lot of great joy. But each film, I don't want them to be too alike, because I just love the freshness of doing things spontaneously. So yeah, we're going to have a Gabriel message. Let's see if it's yeah, we'll have a Gabriel message, that's what we're going to do, and maybe I'll share a little bit more afterwards. Let's do the Gabriel message. So, I was just told 13. Just see if I've had this before. We haven't had this before. Okay. A beautiful plant. Maybe just get up a little bit. Bit more light. Here we go. Now, the Gabriel message number 13. The inner spirit working outward in your life is the only place where stability can be found in these changing times. Dear one, you have found that your world is speeding up, even a sense of frantic activity without a sense of accomplishment. You have found yourself searching for meaning in all that you're doing when it does not feel like enough. The truth is that there is an increase in the energy of the Earth's vibrational field. Because of this, people are experiencing a shift in consciousness that encourages their search for meaning in all that they do. And universal consciousness is now more easily available to all who seek than ever before. This increase in energy is also creating great and rapid change in the world around you. Information is more available. Tremendous earth changes such as earthquakes, fires and hurricanes seem to be occurring with more frequency, and the very fabric of social, political and family life seem to have shifted into unknown areas. All these occurrences are in the world of appearance, the world outside yourself. They point out the fact that you can no longer look for your outside world to bring you a sense of stability. You must come back to yourself and find that still point of peace, harmony and wisdom within. This is the only place of stability in these changing times. Within you there is a place of such peace that you can totally relax there and allow it to permeate your being. Within you is found the truth and joy and meaning which you have sought in vain from the world outside yourself. Come now and allow yourself to experience this place within, where you can be free just to be. It is as close as your breath, and it is with your breath and the power of your thoughts and imagination that you can begin to experience your higher self and your connection to the divine. And here's a practice. Take a few deep and centering breaths. Now let's do that. Bring your attention to the place just below your navel and imagine that you have found yourself in a very peaceful garden. You can make this garden the most beautiful place you have ever seen. Create flowing brooks and peaceful ponds, flowers and shady trees. Make it a place that you will long to come back to again and again. Allow yourself to relax and absorb the peace and beauty of this garden. Give yourself time to meet with your guardian angel and with your higher self to receive all the wisdom, guidance and love that you need. It may take a little practice to find this peaceful place within yourself, but it won't be long before, only after a few balanced breaths, you'll be able to go there without effort. When you give yourself this time of quiet, you will notice that your outer world will not have the power to pull you away from this still place of peace. This is true stability. It is from this still point within that you will be able to live in this time of change and not feel alone or abandoned. You will be able to connect deeply with the support you need. Like a wheel whose spokes appear to revolve very quickly, but whose center has quiet movement connecting all the links around it, this revolution of stillness within you will transform your outer world into one of harmony, love, and peace. Remember to ask for this stillness. Ask for the experience of a peaceful garden. Ask for your personal connection to the source of all life. It all begins with you, with your thoughts, and with the balanced breath that is your connecting link. It is all there is for you if you but give yourself the time. Remember your message from the angels today. The inner spirit working outward in your life is the only place where stability can be found in these changing times. Now let's have a look. What card we need to see. Honesty. That was very wonderful. Those messages are really all saying the same thing. But they are just so beautiful because they just they say it from different angles. So it reminded me of you know how, well, Jesus says that the kingdom of God is within you, and how it's actually by going within that everything will be given that you need. So I just want to touch on this. The old way of being, we were taught that you have to create yourself. You have to create the structure of who you are, the person, the family member, the job you have, and how you're going to make money. All this you have to build up, and when you do all these things right, things will work, you'll be successful, and you'll also make money. But 2,000 years ago we were told that don't worry about all that. Go and search for God first. And when you've found God, everything else will be given to you. And I really feel that's where we have to go. And you see people just talking about abundance and money. I was seeing someone else on the internet called Kyle. He's called Kyle Cease, K-Y-L-E, Cease, as in C-E-A-S-E. And he's talking about abundance, and he can be fun. He's got some authenticity also, and yeah, some good things. And there were many, many men in that. I mean, there's so many who go to hear him. He's very, very popular, and of course, because often it's women who come to these very spiritual things. And that's just, I've been thinking about that recently. That for a man, it is more important. That's the way it's been in our the way of being human. That the man had to create an income for the family and provide for the family. I mean, not many years ago there was no money. There was only food. You just had, the man had to go and get the food. But the women also collected food to provide for the family. So, what I feel is yeah, and so just going back to that, many people can get very, very desperate because, of course, if you can't make enough money to live your life, it gets quite desperate. What do you do, and how are you going to make the money you want? And one thing, of course, is to ask yourself, do I need all that money? Because many of us in the Western world, we have an enormous use for money. So what I feel and what I want to share with my videos is very much to see how can I live in a more simple way where maybe I grow some of my own food and life, I have much more freedom and I don't have to work so much because I don't need so much money. That's just one thing. But what I feel we really need to do is to find the courage to just let go of that way of thinking that if I do all these outer things, I'm going to get what I need. Because I feel that's what I feel in my own life. I just feel I've lived in such abundance and been given all I needed, really, all my life. And I never really doubted that I would get what I needed as long as I followed my heart. So I feel this has really, really proved itself for me, that when you go, let all that go. And you can also see it when people are really, really trying. They're trying desperately to be famous or great or something so they can be successful, so they can get all this money or whatever. That if you let that go and go, maybe retreat, maybe let go of many things in your life and go and search for God and find this place within you, the kingdom of God within you, and start living your life out of this place, you will be given all you need. And you might make lots and lots of money if that's what is right for you. But I just really, really want to encourage people to let it all go and let all the worry go. Because we are given all we need. All we have to do is just connect to this holy place within us, and everything we need, not only money, will come. It's natural. So anyway, this was wonderful to share this week, and thank you for being there. Thank you for what you share on this channel. Thank you so much for you who enjoy these and can use these Sunday Shining videos. It is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for me to really tune into what is it I'm learning? What is it that's important? And for me, this is what I'm sharing. This is what I'm learning. It makes me really, really get clear about what is God guiding me to see. So thank you. And bless you right where you are in your life. I pray and wish for you that you feel this harmony. You feel that you are in harmony already. And just connect to this place within you. And have a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful week. And I'll see you soon. Bye.